Today we'll be talking about and showing how to make the flatbread misman.
Before we get started on the production, let's talk history. Misman is a Moroccan flatbread with a lot of French influence. It has been described as the baby of a crepe and a milfo. So why is there so much French influence in this flatbread? From 1912 until 1956, Morocco became a French proctorate, which means that Morocco was controlled and protected by the French for 44 years. So it's easy to see why there is so much French influence in many Moroccan dishes, including misman.
The word misman in Arabic is translated to oil, which is a very fitting name for this bread. Misman is also known as a square-shaped Moroccan pancake, or more commonly referred as a reggae in Morocco. This versatile flatbread can be served as a sweet or savory dish, and is even eaten all by itself.
Now that we know the history of misman, let's make it.
We're going to start off scaling all of the dry ingredients together. We have 500 grams of all-purpose flour, 100 grams of semolina, and 7 grams of kosher salt scaled out. The wet ingredients are going to be scaled together as well in a separate container. Here we have 400 grams of water and 10 grams of canola.
We're going to bring all of these ingredients over to a stand mixer fitted with a dough hook. Now that we have everything mise en place, we're going to place all of the ingredients into the bowl and mix on low speed until they are well incorporated. This usually takes about 2 minutes.
Once this happens, we're going to crank up the speed to a medium speed for about 6 minutes until the dough becomes smooth, shiny, elastic, and pulls away from the sides of the bowl.
While this is mixing, let's talk a little bit about ingredients.
All-purpose flour is the first of 2 flours used in this formula. All-purpose is designed to be used in a wide range of recipes written for home cooks who do not have the high-intensity mixers or the expertise necessary to use the specialized flours made for commercial bakers. In this recipe, it calls for all-purpose flour, which is usually accessible to all. The bread is made through a combination of all-purpose flour and semolina.
Semolina is made from durum wheat. It can sometimes be confused as cornmeal, however, when first ground, the flour will be divided into 2 separate variations. The coarser material becomes semolina, the finer stuff becomes durum flour. The durum flour is the texture of other flours, whereas the semolina is closer in texture to granulated white sugar, or coarse cornmeal. In this recipe, we used semolina flour, which gave our flour a yellowish type color. Using semolina will give the dough a slightly sweet, rich flavor, which is beneficial because of the fact that it is usually served as a breakfast item.
Canola oil was a very important part of this recipe. The dough itself was supposed to be constantly covered in it. Canola oil comes from the seed of the canola plant. Once harvested, canola seeds are crushed and the oil contained within the seed is extracted. The average canola seed is 45% oil. We use the canola oil to help the dough stay hydrated because if it was not fully covered at all times, then the dough would begin to harden.
Butter was only used when we began to start the folds of the misman. Butter and semolina between the layers help keep the layers distinct, much like in a croissant. The combination of the butter and the semolina also added some texture and flavor to an otherwise bland flatbread.
Salt improves dough's handling properties by giving it a drier feel with reduced stickiness and better extensibility properties. This is an important part of the misman in regards to being able to spread the dough so thin it appears translucent. Salt is crucial in adding flavor to this flatbread. Without it, there is not much taste.
The last ingredient in this formula is water. Hydration is one of the most important factors in mixing, and in the final appearance of the product, since hydration level helps us predict the texture of the crumb. This bread's hydration is at 67%, so the crumb is going to be more open.
Now that the dough is done mixing, we're going to transfer it to an oiled surface to divide and reshape it. We're going to need a scale and an oiled sheet pan to place the dough on it so it can rest.
The dough is going to be divided up into 12 85-gram pieces. Once divided, round the dough, coat it in oil, and place onto the oiled sheet pan. Once all 12 rounds are on the sheet pan, we are going to cover the pan in a plastic bag to allow the dough to rest for a minimum of 30 minutes and a maximum of 8 hours. If you don't have a large plastic bag to cover the sheet pan, plastic wrap will work as well. Just be sure to loosely wrap it in plastic wrap.
Once the dough has rested for the desired time, unwrap the sheet pan and begin to start shaping the dough into 10-inch circles on top of an oiled surface.
What we need for shaping the dough is our oil butter mixture, which is made of 85 grams of oil and 85 grams of butter. In addition to that mixture, we will also be needing about 57 grams of semolina.
Place the first round into the oiled surface seam up. With the tips of your fingers, spread the dough outward from the center, keeping a circular shape. The dough should be about 10 inches with a translucent appearance.
Take 1 tablespoon of the oil butter mixture and spread over the dough. Then take 1 teaspoon of semolina and sprinkle over dough. By doing this, when we fold the dough, it will form separate layers that will not stick together.
Take the east side of the dough and fold to center. Then take the west side of the dough and fold into the center, slightly overlapping the next fold. Next, take the south side of the dough and fold into the center. Lastly, take the north side of the dough and fold towards the center, slightly overlapping the previous fold, making a square-shaped pocket.
Move the pocket of dough back onto the oiled sheet pan. Repeat those steps with the rest of the rounds. Now that all of the rounds have been shaped, we are going to let them rest for about 15 minutes. After the dough has rested, use the palms of your hands to stretch each square to about 7 inches.
The dough's ready, so let's get cooking. Take a skillet and place over medium heat until it's hot enough where water evaporates as soon as it hits the pan. Then place the first misman onto the skillet to cook. It should take about 1-2 minutes on each side.
Once the misman is off the heat, it's ready to eat. This flatbread is generally served by itself with a cup of mint tea, but flavors can absolutely be added to make this a sweet or savory dish. Misman has high similarities to a curd, aside from being thicker. It is textured bread that's flavors can be easily manipulated. For a sweet side, honey or jams can be added on top of misman. Or if you want to go savory, garlic and salt can be just as good.
That's all for now, folks. We hope you enjoyed this step-by-step tutorial on how to make misman.